versus expensive. Everybody loves a bargain, and it's no different when it comes to camera equipment because photography is notoriously expensive. But let me challenge that thought just for a moment here. I'm gonna throw up a couple of images on the screen here, and I want you to tell me whether you think they were shot with a $50 camera, a $100 camera, or a $5,000 camera. I'm gonna give you some time to look at these images, so let's go. All right, are you done? Sweet. Well, guess what? To put that to the ultimate test, we are going to be pitting this Nikon B500, yes, a Nikon, against this Sony A6000, a $100 camera versus a $500 camera. Real world scenarios are the best place to test these out, so let's go and take some shots and see who is the winner. So I've got to figure out a loop that I'm going to be doing here. That way could be something, but let's try and get comfortable first. Got to get the terrible shots out of the way. But yeah, as soon as I can figure out a loop, that means things can become a little bit more consistent when I bring out the A6000. Now this doesn't shoot RAW, which is okay. I'm going to chuck it onto sports, so then burst mode's just a little bit easier. Cool. That's kind of a unique shot. Just kind of looking up at the buildings just up there. So where could we use this? It's not exactly in the middle, but we could get some kind of cool texture off to the side, maybe. How about wide? I feel like this could be something here. That might be something cool. I feel like the good thing about these bridge cameras here is that, you know, like they're so easily accessible. And if you can pick out one that's, you know, within your budget and decent enough, like the B500 here, this Coolpix B500, you know, you can take some amazing shots. Ooh, okay, that could be cool. So this here could be really cool. Oh, it's got the flip out screen too. Hell yeah. Okay, I wonder what the equivalent lens is for this whole thing. But let's come down here. Bring that. Nah, I like wide. There we go, there's one. Hey, this dude on a bike is interesting enough. So we can get something in. That might be something. Yeah, I got something cool there. Our old mate down here. Someone's at the home. What a rare sight. I don't miss being a tradie, I can tell you that. You know, the fact that this actually has like a 40 times optical zoom is amazing. Awesome. I wonder if I can get a panning shot of a car using this. That could be something. And it's definitely wide enough to do something like that. I don't actually have to be super close in. Just gotta find an interesting subject. Did I get that first go? I think I did, eh? Let's have a look. Ah! I think I did. That's awesome. That's so sick. All right, we've done that loop. Now I'm gonna switch over to the A6000 and see if I can get some similar shots. Just before we switch over to the A6000, I want to take a moment just to say that if you want the chance to win this Helios 442 and this totally awesome camera lens filter, all you gotta do is hit subscribe and join channel members down below. And if you want more entries into this, every dollar you spend on adventureswithmarley.com is one entry. $10, 10 entries. Now, let's see how the A6000 does. One of the biggest differences we're gonna see with the A6000 as opposed to the Nikon B500 is actually to do with image quality, but not in the way you think. This shoots in RAW as well as JPEG, where the Nikon B500 only shoots in JPEG. Now, I've set this to shoot RAW and JPEG so we can actually make a fair comparison between the two modes, as well as because I want to edit some photos. I'm still going to be shooting on a burst mode because that's what I was using with the B500, but we're going to see just how good you can get with kit lenses and budget equipment, because a lot of people seem to think that you need expensive gear to take bangers, but you don't. The B500 I picked up was only around $100, but you can pick them up for under $200, and this you can pick up under $500. That is off Facebook Marketplace though. Prices in your area might vary, but it shouldn't be too bad. Cool, there's that. Now changing focus mode again to flexible spot, just to make it a lot easier, because I can move the spot around on the middle of the screen just so I know where I'm actually going to be focusing, so it doesn't have to search completely all the time. One of the good things about this is I'm actually shooting on aperture priority, so all the other settings change except for the aperture. Let's chuck it on auto so it matches everything. I don't like shooting on auto, but as long as I can focus stuff correctly, I think we're good. Oh no, you're fine, you're fine. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I dig that. In choosing the test between the Nikon B500 and this Sony A6000, I wanted to try and find something that closely matched each camera's strengths and weaknesses. With this one specifically, I knew that I wanted to go wide. I hope I got that. Did I get that? That would have been sick. I did. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, amazing. Awesome. So as I was saying, I wanted to choose something that closely matched each camera's strengths and weaknesses. I knew that with the B500, it did have a wider field of view with that optical zoom. Using the A6000 with the 16 to 50 mil, I knew that I was going to get something similar. The only downside is I don't have the 40 times optical zoom. I have the power zoom for this thing, which is an optical zoom, but it's only 16 to 50 mil on an APS-C sensor. The other candidate that I was going to choose for this was actually the $100 Sony A300, which has the 18 to 70mm. However, that is still in the same price range as the Nikon B500, as opposed to this here, the A6000, which I wanted something that was a little bit more modern, a little bit more pricey, still under budget, but still, you know, just a little bit more pricey, if you understand what I'm getting at here. Oh, here we go. That's very nice. That's a very nice car. The only thing I am actually a little bit upset about between this comparison between the A6000 and the Nikon B500 is simply the fact that I can't use the same subject. As much as I would like to do that, I know that that's not exactly something that is realistic. You know, not everyone is a studio photographer, especially when you're starting out. A lot of people are just looking to go around, take some photos of wherever they're at, and just get some shots done. But that's where I think that these real world tests are absolutely perfect, because that's what we're doing. We're doing real world tests. We're not sitting here in a controlled setting where everything is 100% the same, because in reality, that just can never happen. And so by doing something like this, you get to see just exactly how these cameras perform in a real world scenario. On screen now are some of the best images that I thought I took with the B500. I found that the usability and how easy it was to focus the camera was something that I haven't experienced before on something so cheap. Usually with bridge cameras, those are the cameras that are the halfway point between a point and shoot and a DSLR. They really struggle to focus. However, the B500 didn't. I found that even with panning shots, it worked really, really well. Now, the biggest drawback with the B500 is I like manual mode. That's just a personal preference, but I think, you know, you might like manual mode too. And for something this cheap, I can understand why it doesn't have it, but even just having the option would have been really nice. Would you buy the Nikon B500? Let me know in the comments down below. Moving on to the A6000, this felt really, really familiar, mainly because it shares the same UI as my A7 Mark I. It's just the APS-C version. The image quality between the B500 and the A6000 is honestly night and day, but I still am leaning more towards the color representation of the B500. Now, I'm a Sony guy through and through. I have 4 different Sony cameras, but the B500 just had something about it that I found really nostalgic. The usability of the A6000 is honestly just insane. All the settings felt nice and comfortable, including manual mode, but I'm still gonna give this win to the B500. Do you agree with me? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you want to see more comparison content like this, please like that smash button. Smash that like button, subscribe that subscribe button, and click right over here to see me review a $100 Canon camera. None of those were taken on a camera that is over $500.